Ein sehr interessanter Künstler und ein sehr interessanter Mensch, vor allem Kristian von Hornsleth ist jetzt bei mir zu Gast. Wir sehen schon ein bisschen seiner Kunst. Er hat uns ein bisschen was mitgebracht und ich freue mich, dass ich ihn jetzt ganz doll über seine Arbeit ausfragen darf. Herzlich willkommen. Schön, dass du da bist.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Er spricht zwar gut Deutsch, aber um über seine Kunst zu sprechen, haben wir uns darauf geeinigt, heute in Englisch miteinander zu reden.
Ja.
Correct.
Ich versuche.
Das ist sehr gut.
ein bisschen.
Ja, wir gucken jetzt mal, was funktioniert. Zunächst einmal für diejenigen, die dich nicht kennen. Wir haben oft auch Zuschauer, die vielleicht noch nicht so viel Kontakt mit der Kunstwelt hatten. Ich habe gelesen, man kann dich vergleichen, oder du bist eine Mischung aus Nietzsche, Warhol und Dr. House. What does that mean? Who are you? What do you do?
Some art critic wrote this after seeing the work, and I think it's to do with that. Basically, I think art is really, really boring, you know. And I tell my children in school, if they don't want to watch the teacher, go home. You know, the problem is that we seem to be in a culture where we don't ask enough from our culture. Why doesn't people like art? Because it's boring.
Interesting
And young
fact.
people hate it.
Art, also Kunst, ist langweilig. Darüber werden wir gleich eine Menge reden. Ihr habt jetzt gesehen, er ist bei uns. Wir sprechen gleich ganz ausführlich mit ihm und hören ganz kurz in ein bisschen Musik rein. So, da sind wir zurück. Ihr habt es kurz gesehen. Wir haben schnell das Mikro ausgetauscht, damit wir auch alles hören können, was Kristian von Hornsleth uns zu erzählen hat. Also, wir waren dabei stehen geblieben, dass klassische Kunst vielleicht ein bisschen langweilig sein kann. So you say classical art, as we know it from museums, is boring.
Well, I wouldn't say classical, but most contemporary. The problem is when young people are introduced to art and it seems to be like something they have to do. It doesn't come from the interest. I mean, look what happened to hip hop music or street art. It grew out, and then later it becomes institutionalized, and then we force our children to look at it when it gets old and boring. Art is something that, you know, grows out and you can't help it. Like you do television, you can't help it. You want to do it. You know, if you want to make really money, you would go on the stock market. You know, we do this because we love it.
Okay, also er sagt, ich fasse das kurz zusammen, dass Kunst etwas ist, was wächst, was jetzt passiert, und Kunst ist etwas, was wie zum Beispiel auch Hip-Hop oder Street Art einfach jetzt entsteht. Das Problem ist da, wenn wir älter werden und die Kunst dann endlich akzeptiert ist und den Normen entspricht, dann drängen wir unsere Kinder im Prinzip dahin, das alles anzugucken, und das ist der Teil, der langweilig wird. Also man muss es einfach erleben. You just have to live art.
Yes, and you should really ask yourself what you think. That's why I wrote a whole book about, it's called Fuck You Art Lovers, because people, they trust the media or their parents or their school to what, I don't know what I think myself, but you have to decide what you think is funny and say, I don't like it, I like it. Art doesn't have to be an academic course.
Okay, so how did you start liking art? Because you became an artist. I mean, there must be somewhat of love for art.
I saw art from when I was a kid in a museum, and I was always thinking, that's really nice, that's funny, but I think I can do it better.
Okay. Who would you compare yourself to? Which paintings did you see where you said, I can do better?
I was thinking, actually, it was a kind of one of the very, very big moments in my early childhood was when I watched the work from a German artist called Anselm Kiefer. And he was like showing big paintings with all kinds of things stuck on with tree and tar and blood and stuff, and I was thinking, that's really, I feel something here. I feel real pain, and I feel. Then I studied it, and I found out what's that about. And from this artwork, you read other artwork, and you start to look on the, like you look on when you listen to music. You look on the back and the cover, and you read about another artist, and you go on and on. And this way, you dig yourself into the art, and then you start thinking, maybe I could do something which is. And then you find out what is it you want to say. And that's why it became like a Dr. House, Warhol,
Nietzsche?
Nietzsche, yeah. because all I'm doing now is kind of testing the borders of morality, and I like to try to find where do I fit in. It always begins with yourself, and then it becomes a general problem. I feel bad when I open the newspaper and I think I have to do something about this. I should do some art about the Africa, or the way that it's terrible, we're all going to die, and the climate catastrophe, and there's no more oil, and there's a lot of problems. So give me a newspaper, I give you 10 art pieces.
Okay, that's interesting. Also nur anhand einer Zeitung kann er jetzt sagen, ich gebe euch 10 neue Kunstprojekte. Er hat 2 schon selber angesprochen, über die ich jetzt vor allem mit ihm sprechen möchte. You just talked about 2 of your projects. You named them really briefly. For example, the Village Project.
Yes.
You said you wanted to go to Africa and do this project. What was it about?
It's called the Village Project, and it's. I went to a village in north of Kampala in Uganda, and we got 100 people, 100 villagers, to change their name legally to Hornsleth.
Okay.
In exchange for 300 or so livestock animals.
Okay.
That was the deal.
Let me just explain that. Also es gibt dieses Projekt, das Village-Projekt, wo er gesagt hat, ich bin nach Uganda gereist und habe hunderte Menschen gefragt, ob sie bereit wären, den Namen Hornsleth anzunehmen dafür, dass man ihnen zum Beispiel Schweine gibt, also Hühner oder was auch immer sie haben wollten. And all of them changed their names?
Yes, and we made a farm, and the deal was when the animals were giving new babies, half of the animals should stay in the farm, so new people could live off this. So we kind of started as a pool of animals, and they were very proud to get the name, and I got a name from them. But there was a big trouble because there was a catch line. If you read the book, it says. We want to help you, but we want to own you.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it was a media chaos after this, and they accused me of everything. But what I really wanted to show was the complex relation between the Western world and Africans. No help comes without conditions.
Yeah, there's a lot of prices for help. But is it also because I read that you like to brand, you like to Hornsleth something.
Yes.
Is that also what you wanted to do here, but also to show moral compass?
Exactly, and I was thinking from the beginning that if can a human being be an art piece? How would you do that? Would you tattoo it? Would you draw on him? So if somebody said, your name should be on his passport. So how can you do that? That's expensive. So why not go to Africa? Maybe they can be persuaded. And then the project kind of turned into a more humanistic approach from a very cynical conceptual artwork into something crazy, and a new documentary film grew out of it. And I'm still in a dialogue with down there, and they are very, very. We have a long-term relation, and it's kind of turned into a beautiful marriage.
So the people that actually accepted your name, that are all named Hornsleth now, they're actually happy with what happened.
Yeah, you must think that in this village, they are so poor, they can't afford the bus ticket to get free malaria medicine in the I mean, they're not starving, but they're really,
they're
7
really
o'clock,
poor.
lights out, nothing there. My idea was to, if you want to help somebody, you must invest in them. You can't just give them. And now they're sort of growing through this absurd project.
Also durch die Schweine, durch die Hühner, die sie dort erhalten haben, die Menschen, die in Uganda in diesem Dorf gesagt haben, wir nehmen den Namen Hornsleth an, dadurch konnten sie ihre eigene Farm schaffen und die Tiere haben sich natürlich vermehrt. Das heißt, sie können das immer weiterführen. Man hat nachhaltig in sie investiert. Die Menschen dort sind glücklich mit dem, was sie haben. Es ist ein sehr, sehr armes Dorf gewesen. Auf der anderen Seite gab es natürlich einen riesen Mediasturm. You caused a big media riot.
There was a minister of interior who wanted me in for jail, and they were thinking that what is he doing up there? Is he making a new private army? What's going on? And luckily I was out of the country from when this came out. So, but the United Nations, the American Embassy, and so on, they've all visited this village to see what's that. And all the villagers say, to the very angry journalists, say, leave Hornsleth alone. At least he's doing something here.
Okay, so they actually liked the project.
Ja.
Die Medien haben natürlich erstmal gesagt, was ist hier passiert. Es gab sogar im Gespräch, ob er in den Knast gehen muss oder nicht. Also es war ein sehr, sehr nervenaufreibendes, dennoch nachhaltiges Projekt, was aber auch natürlich zum Denken angeregt hat. Is it always what you want to achieve with all of your art projects, that people start thinking? You don't just want them to look at the art, but you want them to figure out what? What is your message?
I think that a good art piece will make you think about things in your own life and your society. And in the very, very long, in the very democratic way, in a long run, it should, create some kind of better world for all of us. And it's not enough just to make something nice. You need to move people like you move them with a good film or a good TV show. It demand more of your artist.
We'll talk about your second project in a bit. Also,
I just have to say that the newest involvement for this Africa project, one of the inhabitants is running for parliament.
there you
And we
go.
are supporting him. We only need to get 48,000 votes.
Okay.
And I don't know, and as we say in Africa, it's not always black and white.
I like that humor, very much so. Also das Projekt, darüber haben wir gesprochen, das Village Project, aber natürlich gibt es noch eine Menge mehr, was du machst. Über dein Deep Storage Project sprechen wir gleich noch. Wenn wir uns einmal die Website anschauen, dann sehen wir natürlich noch ein bisschen mehr von dem, was Kristian von Hornsleth alles so macht. Darüber werden wir gleich ganz genau sprechen, denn es wird noch richtig bunt, wir sehen noch richtig viel Farbe und dann sprechen wir über diesen komischen Stern, der hier vorne auf dem Tisch liegt. Also bis gleich.